was launched by a Saturn V rocket from Kennedy Space Center in Merritt Island, Florida. There were 3 astronauts: Neil Armstrong, the commander; Buzz Aldrin, the lunar module pilot; and Michael Collins, the commander module pilot. The rocket was 363 feet long. It took 7.5 million pounds of thrust to propel them into space. The Apollo spacecraft had 3 parts: the command module, which a cabin for 3 astronauts, and the only part that landed back on Earth; a service module, which supported the command module with propulsion, electrical power, oxygen, water, and the lunar module that had 2 stages: a lower stage for landing on the moon, and an upper stage to place the astronauts back into lunar orbit. The astronauts needed to wear a spacesuit with a back-mounted portable life support system. This controlled the oxygen, temperature, and pressure inside the suit. At 9:32 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, the engines fired and the Apollo 11 crew cleared the tower. 12 minutes later, the crew is in Earth's orbit. They traveled for 3 days until they entered lunar orbit. At 1:47 p.m. EDT, Armstrong and Aldrin in the lunar module Eagle separate from the command module. Collins remains on board the Columbia orbiting the moon. At 4:17 p.m. EDT, the Eagle lands. At 10:56 p.m. EDT, Armstrong is ready to plant the first human foot on the moon. A camera in the lunar module provides live television coverage as Neil Armstrong climbs down the ladder to the surface of the moon. On July 20th, 1969, Commander Neil Armstrong becomes the first man on the moon. An estimated 600 million people watched the moon landing. At 11:15 p.m., Buzz Aldrin joins Armstrong on the moon. On the surface, the astronauts had to get used to reduced gravity. They could jump very high compared to Earth. The crew spent a total of 2 hours and 30 minutes on the moon's surface. They collected 47.5 pounds of lunar material to bring back to Earth, and the crew stayed on the moon for a total of 21.5 hours. They leave behind an American flag. July 21st, 1969, at 1:54 p.m., the Eagle departs from the moon to rendezvous with Columbia. Entering the Earth's atmosphere, parachutes open to safely lower the Columbia into the Pacific Ocean. July 24th, 1969, at 12:50 p.m. EDT, Columbia splashes down 8 days, 3 hours, and 18 minutes after liftoff. The crew splashes down off Hawaii on July 24th. The crew was retrieved by helicopter and taken to recovery ship, the USS Hornet. August 10th, 1969, they go into a quarantine aboard the USS Hornet. The crew traveled 240,000 miles from the Earth to the moon in 76 hours. The mission cost $355 million in 1969. This is equal to $1.3 billion nowadays.